And for an AUT university assignment I have been required to Google my own name, which is probably a lot of people's favourite sport. I've done it myself. I did it just a few minutes ago actually, and I did it in lowercase, I did it in capital letters, and I did it in a mixture of both, and it didn't seem to make any difference to what returns I got on the Google results. But I'm using Firefox as my search engine rather than Google Chrome. For no particular reason. I've just used Firefox for such a long time now. I'm familiar with how it works. It's probably no surprise that Facebook appears first on the results, and it is whoops, the it's probably the biggest website in the world. So I've logged into Facebook just because it prompted me to there, but it's put me at the top of the list probably because I'm logged in. But I think there's only 5 Justin Devereaux, which is quite a surprising. It's quite a unique name, I guess, and so there's only 5 Justin Devereaux using Facebook in the entire world, unless they've made their profiles invisible, I guess. Yeah, the information is pretty limited about me. Unless you're my friend, you don't really get any access in there. Where I am, where I used to work, some of this information is a bit out of date. I haven't been a big user of Facebook until only this year, but I do need to update that. So coming down the list there, you get to images. That's pretty generic for anyone that's searching their own name. I recognize this Justin Devereaux from the search we just did. There I am. I always appear in one of these 6 boxes, but it also brings up, or Google brings up, images that don't seem to have anything to do with Justin Devereaux. And yeah, there's a Justin in the text there, and that's perhaps the only reason why that's brought that up. But you know, if you look at the generic or the greater images that are brought up here, there's a mixture of relevance to myself, and then there's things that are seemingly completely irrelevant. Yeah, and it's kind of crazy what Google does bring up from time to time. But yeah, there's some of my news stories. Prompt Google there to give us a return. There I am, and my WordPress site, my blog, and that's a feature of it. That's some information about an advertising campaign I'd been in. And then there's some Prezi documentation that I've done. There's several there, 4 from this one as well. But there's some other Prezi documentations here that are done by another Justin Devereaux, and I don't remember what I've seen it before, but I've looked at it, and I thought, wow, isn't that strange that he shares the same name with me, and if the public were viewing these, there's no way to distinguish between him and I, which is kind of concerning. You know, if the guy's, you know, an extreme, you know, has some, well, an extremist I was going to say, but has some quirks about him, or talking about things that, you know, have got totally polar to how I sit on topics, then that could be that could misrepresent me. Someone could get the wrong idea. So yeah, at the moment the status is that these documents are public and reusable. I can change those settings, and maybe I will. I might even remove myself from these, because these are just basically for university assignments. These things, they're supplements to speeches I've done for classes. They've been quickly put together, and they're not really supposed to be full of information. I was to provide that in my speech, but you know, this one here, Jamie Lee Ross, for instance, is a political profile that I was required to do. And so if somebody, like an employer, for instance, was going to, you know, do a Google search on me before they hired me, they might find this and think, oh, this guy's, you know, this is a political party, that I might have a bias to one political party, and, you know, and as a journalist, that doesn't look good. You know, you need to remain neutral, as I've learned at university, and so I might remove some of these. They're a bit old. Some of them were done last year, and others earlier in the year. Yeah, so images is a mixture there. Not a lot to do with me there. There's a Twitter site. You can see where I've been logging in or hitting with the purple links here, but I don't really use that a lot. I have started to recently, just to basically, you know, push my news stories, or try and get some feedback from followers or something about how they feel about a topic. Um, that is my website, which actually you can get to through the image here. We'll click on that, and in fact, that's linked to my here-to-here advertising campaign, which is an interesting thing there, because there's the link for it. It's only a small feature on my actual page, so it's interesting that that's actually Google selected that rather than my home page. But there you go. And the home page is just a portfolio of my published workings, really. I don't know, there's 20 odd news stories there, and anytime I do publish new or update that site, it's updated on my Twitter account and my Facebook as well. There's one of the Prezi documents. This is interesting. This is a review I did for a U2 song, which I'd forgotten I'd done. In fact, I didn't even think that it had worked. I'll take a screenshot of that because I'm interested to see what that says. It was such a long time ago. Instagram, no, not a user. Vine, that's some university assignments I did where I just interviewed someone on the mobile using the app. We were required to do such a thing and ask people about our student newspaper there. So we have our teachers there and some students I've used as my subjects. But otherwise I haven't used that a lot yet, but it could be a useful tool. Foursquare, this is an interesting lesson here, because I haven't used this for 2 years, not since December in 2012. So these are places you visit, you can tag yourself in and comment about the area, which some of those comments are interesting, and others there, could be a little bit offensive to some people, and although that's how I felt in March the 8th, 2012, if someone did come across that, but it's a slim chance, but if they did, they may be offended, and so that is a lesson to be more careful and perhaps not post comments there about crazy hippies and things like that. And also, I don't really like that this comment here is a time where I had an X-ray and I was a bit worried about something, and so anyone in the public can see this. In 2011, I was going for an X-ray and I was going to keep still and pray that I get good results. So things like that stick around. That's I was surprised when I came across this. I'd forgotten I was even a user. It says that I'm from New York. Not true, of course. But I think I registered or downloaded the app when I was on holiday in New York, and I guess that's why it's happened. News story, one of my news stories, nothing to do with me, that one there. So we're up to page 3 now. We're getting some stories coming through from one of the organizations that's published my work. Skill pages, did not create this. This is strange. This is borrowed information from Facebook. Some of this information that's out of date. The photograph, some of my friends that obviously use skill pages are linked in here. And I'm surprised about this, and I can only assume that I did join and I can't remember it, and it is possible. It is connected there by Facebook, and that verifies it. Valid email address, so I definitely I had to have signed up for it, and it's concerning that I don't remember using it, and I think that's just basically like a New Zealand version of LinkedIn, which doesn't seem to get much attention, and I don't think it's very good. So if that's the way internet's going, where you can create profiles that easily without knowing, that's a bit scary. And every time I Google, things are slightly different, but a lot of the common things keep coming up. There's a university story. There's a link to my father, and it's picked up my name somewhere in the subtext there. So there's my father there. You can see where I've been before. Yes, I am in need of a holiday. Who isn't? Justin, there I am. And you can tell when I was born, and all my parents' details when they were born, their family, and it goes back generation after generation. So those are going to pick me up, of course. But yeah, I can't change that. That's done by an organisation that I don't control. I think it's called the Peerage. I'm not sure, but I don't really mind that too much as long as no one hassles me about it. I don't think anyone would ever find it, to be honest. This is a link to a blog that I've done. This is the advertising campaign, but this is actually the blog that we created, and we did a road trip in this video, and there's pages and pages of the stuff. But I really enjoyed that trip. That was terrific, actually. So yeah, I've seen some other things in the past that haven't come up recently, but most of the stuff that comes up tends to be more recent, and so a lot of news stories and some of the work I've been doing through university or for university, and I think that's really about it. I think, as I said before, the lesson is that things you've posted in the past can come back and haunt you if you've said something inappropriate. It always stays there. These digital profiles that you're creating consciously or subconsciously can impact on your life at present or in the future. And so, what's appropriate in your mind for how you are in this life, may not be for future phases of your life. So you do need to consider that when, in your presence online when you are commenting or posting any work. So. Yeah, that's about it in conclusion. So thank you for listening. Bye-bye.